In this video, we will talk about probability. We will assign probabilities to events, explain how the law of large numbers relates to relative frequencies, apply basic rules of probability in everyday life, and explain the relationship between statistics and probability. Probability is a numerical measure between 0 and 1 that describes the likelihood that an event will occur. Probabilities closer to 1 indicate that the event is more likely to occur. Probabilities closer to 0 indicate that the event is less likely to occur. And probabilities between 0 and 1 can be in fraction form or decimal form. We could also think of them in percent form. That'd be like 0% to 100%. But they can't go lower than 0. They can't exceed 1 or 100%. P of A denotes the probability of event A. If P of A equals 1, an event is certain to occur. That's like a 100% chance of the event occurring. And P of A equal to 0 indicates that event A is certain not to occur. Like a 0% chance of something happening, it will definitely not happen. We're going to look at 3 ways to assign probabilities. One way is based on intuition that incorporates past experience, judgment, or opinion to estimate the likelihood of an event. Another way is based on relative frequencies, using the formula the probability of the event is equal to the relative frequency, f over n, where f is the frequency of the event occurrence in a sample of n observations. And the third way, probability assignment based on equally likely outcomes, uses the formula the probability of the event is equal to the number of outcomes favorable to the event over the total number of outcomes. Take a minute to pause the video and read the 3 situations below and see if you can match them to the different types of probability assignments: intuition, relative frequency, and equally likely outcomes. Okay, hopefully you've had a chance to try these yourself. Now let's do them together. A sports announcer claims that Sheila has a 90% chance of breaking the world record in the 100-yard dash. Now this one would be based on intuition. There's no way to get an accurate prediction of the probability of Sheila breaking the world record in a running race, but based on how she's performed in the past, you could make a prediction based on intuition. Part B, Henry figures that if he guesses on a true-false question, the probability of getting it right is 0.50. That one would be based on equally likely outcomes. There are 2 equally likely outcomes, true and false, and the probability of him getting it right is one of those outcomes out of the 2 possible. So that would be that third type, which we also sometimes call theoretical probability. And Part C, the Right to Health lobby claims that the probability of getting an erroneous medical laboratory report is 0.40, based on a random sample of 200 laboratory reports, of which 80 were erroneous. This is going to be probability based on relative frequency. So in a statistical study of 200 lab reports, 80% were erroneous, or not 80%, 80 of them were erroneous. 80 out of the 200 had errors, and based on that report, you could predict that the probability of getting an erroneous lab report is 0.4. The law of large numbers states that in the long run, as the sample size increases and increases, the relative frequencies of outcomes get closer and closer to the theoretical or actual probability value. And this is the reason businesses like health insurance, automobile insurance, and gambling casinos can exist. Think, for example, of the probability of getting heads when you flip a coin. The theoretical probability of getting heads based on equally likely outcomes is 1 out of 2. There's 2 possible outcomes, 1 is heads. Now say, in reality, I flip a coin 10 times. I might get heads 6 times and tails 4 times. Life doesn't always work out perfectly like theoretical probabilities. But in the long run, if I flip a coin 100 times or 1,000 times, I would eventually equal out to approximately 50% heads and 50% tails. Or that frequency would get closer and closer to that probability, that theoretical probability of 1/2. If you think about a casino, they know that their clients might win some of the time, but in the long run, they're going to win more and they're going to make money. Insurance companies use probability to determine how likely it is for an accident to occur or a health problem to occur and charge people accordingly so that they know that they'll come out on top and make money in the long run. Let's talk about some vocab that we're going to use in probability. A statistical experiment or statistical observation can be thought of as any random activity that results in a definite outcome. For example, you could consider the event of rolling a 6-sided die. An event is a collection of one or more outcomes of a statistical experiment or observation. The event that you are studying might be the probability of rolling an even number on a die. A simple event is one particular outcome of a statistical experiment. The set of all simple events constitutes the sample space of an experiment. So a simple event would be, for example, the possible outcomes when you roll a die, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. And those values constitute the sample space of that event, or all possible outcomes. Let's take a look at an example. Human eye color is controlled by a single pair of genes, one from the father and one from the mother, called a genotype. Brown eye color, big B, is dominant over blue eye color, cursive L. Therefore, in the genotype BL, consisting of one brown gene B and one blue gene L, the brown gene dominates. A person with a BL genotype has brown eyes. If both parents have brown eyes and have genotype BL, what is the probability that their child will have blue eyes? What is the probability that the child will have brown eyes? Well, the table shows the possible outcomes for the children of these two parents. You could have 2 Bs, an L then a B then an L, or an L and an L. There are 4 possible outcomes in the sample space. So the probability of blue eyes, there are 4 possible probabilities or outcomes, and one of those outcomes comes out blue, the 2 L's. So 1 out of 4 is the probability of blue eyes, or you could think of it as 0.25 or 25% if you wanted to do percent form. The probability of brown eyes would be the other 3 outcomes, or 0.75 or 75% chance. This leads to the complement of an event. The complement of event A is the event that A does not occur. We use A with a raised C to designate the complement of the event A. And the probability of the event A plus the probability of the complement of event A, the probability that the event does not occur, always have to add up to 1. And if you rearrange that, you get that the probability that event A does not occur is equal to 1 minus the probability of event A. So let's try an example. The probability that a college student who has not received a flu shot will get the flu is 0.45. What is the probability that a college student will not get the flu if the student has not had the flu shot? Well, the probability that the student will get the flu is 0.45. So if we do 1 minus 0.45, 0.55 is the probability that she will or he will not get the flu. Let's talk about the difference between probability and statistics and how probability is used in statistics. Probability is the field of study that makes statements about what will occur when samples are drawn from a known population. Statistics is the field of study that describes how samples are to be obtained and how inferences are to be made about unknown populations. So, for example, with probability applications, we have to know the exact makeup of the entire population. If you have 3 green marbles, 5 red marbles, and 4 white marbles in a bag, and you draw 6 at random from the bag, what's the probability that none is red? Well, in this case, we know exactly what's in the bag, and we can calculate the probability that when you draw 6 marbles, none of them are red. Now, an example of a statistical application, we do this when we have samples from an otherwise unknown population. Take that same example of the marbles in a bag. We could draw a random sample of 6 marbles from the unknown population, and based on the results, make a conjecture about the colors and numbers of marbles in the entire population of all marbles in the bag. So in statistics, we use probabilities to help us make predictions or conjectures about conditions of entire populations based on samples and what we observe.